time today as real life has come into play. So we're not really going to waste any time in regards to to these big matches that we've got planned. So let's, I don't know why Pat just made you decide to go away.
I'm very
Oh,
small.
no, it's supposed to be you and me.
There we go.
First of all, how you doing?
Good, cold, but good. It's
Oh, the bitter winter.
yeah, it's 27 degrees here in Middle Tennessee, and people are acting like it's the end of the world. So
Well,
you know,
it is as northerner, I am used to it, so
yeah,
I'm okay.
yeah. I mean, I grew up in Michigan, so it's nothing to me. I'll go
Yeah,
down and get the mail in shorts, but
yeah, we have nothing, and we were the ones in Florida going like, this is nothing when it was like 50 degrees, 40
yeah,
degrees.
yeah,
But we've got great matches for you tonight. That just who just came down to the ring? That was Boomer Hatfield, son
yes,
of Dasher Hatfield.
yes. Who is a very good professional wrestler.
Literally, that is their
Yes,
name.
that is that. Yes, they've since changed their gimmick to a very good
And
professional wrestler.
right now, a member of the foundation, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams,
Yeah, the
a Ring of Honor staple in their last few last last year, basically.
yeah,
But they did announce that in April, Supercard of Honor will be coming back. And one of the things that got interesting revealed is that all the talent are going to be on a pay per appearance basis. There will be no more long term contracts.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's obviously the big like business move they were working on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Now, in terms of the talent in the ring, Tracy Williams, I am a big fan of their technical style. I think a lot of great personality. Uh, Reason why he calls himself Hot Sauce, still haven't figured out. But
Same.
uh, but as far as Hatfields go, this guy is the real McCoy. Uh, oh, I got dad jokes for days, folks. uh, as you can see, Pat and I are in our remote studios as the corporate head honchos, as it were, of PWS were nice enough to give us as a little more upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, my new lighting kit is arriving this week. So next week, I'm gonna look less pale.
The stream just gets better and better each time,
Yeah.
folks. I mean,
Absolutely.
there's no way around it. I mean, there's plenty of ways around it, but
I mean, you could get around it if you wanted to,
I don't
but
want
why?
it really.
Why would
Like,
you want to?
why would you want to? That's
Why
just
would
that's
you want
just
to?
not fun for anybody.
No.
Um, what are we doing?
If I knew, I'd tell you.
This is a crazy day, man. Oh, but I have been a fan of the Hatfields and the Chikara shows, and wrestling is fun. Um, there is an entire family. If you want to follow their lives, they do have a blog that they were doing for a long time, chronicling the Hatfields and his kayfabe dad, Dasher Hatfield, one member of the Throwbacks.
Yes. Yeah, both these guys have an extensive Chikara background. You'd mentioned that, Boomer had come from there. Tracy, for a very long time, was Green Ant, I believe, in the colony.
No way! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
never really.
absolutely.
I only knew of one of the actual members of the colony. Nice bulldog joke.
Yeah. Yep. Tracy Williams, Orange Cassidy, Drew Gulak was one.
Gulak?
Mm-hmm. I
I
don't
did
remember
not know
which.
this.
But
That's crazy.
yep. Yep. Most of the
I
original
guess it can
colony
be revealed now because the it's not so much a thing anymore as it used to be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm wondering if maybe that's part of where the hot sauce name came from. Like,
Could be.
having teamed with Fire Ant, it's a hot. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I never thought of that. That's actually really smart.
That's wild speculation on my part, but the logic kind of checks out.
Yeah.
Williams had a very good evaluation period. The July to June, year that PWI uses for the 500. Williams was the runner-up in the Pure title tournament. Won the ROH TV title from Dragon Lee. He won the tag titles with Rhett Titus. Just a really good year for Tracy Williams, the number 90 seed in our tournament. Boomer at 423. It wasn't a great year, but it was an okay Boomer.
You son of a gun. You know what? I'm waiting for it, and I was listening, and then you throw that at me.
Oop,
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
We got a ref bump. Brian Zane is down.
Oh, big elbow off the top rope. Man, our refs have not been very
no, and Zane's bleeding.
Not been very stable lately.
No. We're turning into late WCW here with the ref bumps. Actually, I guess that's more of a TNA
camera
thing,
keeps going away. Yeah, there were a lot of big ref bumps in back in the day of the pre-Impact days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I am
trying at Jarrett to come out.
Speaking of Jared, he's showing up at GCW tonight.
Yes, he is.
A little bit of controversy surrounding that event, though, as arguably their biggest star has not been booked for the show. Nick Gage.
Nick Gage, yeah,
does not going to be there tonight, and apparently he has a little bit of a bone to pick with management. But I don't know if that was a shoot or if that was him just trying to, there was kind of they have an explanation that they needed as to why he's not going to be there tonight. But that guy is real as it can get.
Yeah, or we're going to see him interfere in something, and this is all setting up for whatever his next feud is going to be.
I'm very curious as to. Oh, here we go. Very close. This has been a good back and forth between these two.
It has
huge power slam.
Boomer putting up more of a fight than honestly than I expected.
Oh,
I've been watching some on IWTV. I've been watching a little bit of Camp Leapfrog, which he was a major part of as well, and that's just fun family entertainment.
Yeah, there are a lot of times I get friends who are like, listen, I want to, my son wants to go to wrestling, my daughter wants to go to a wrestling show, but we're not we don't want to go to too violent stuff or anything. And I'm like, you have no idea how many great family oriented shows there are out there. It's really nice. One of the ones that I became a fan of just because I saw a fantastic clip from nice belly to belly. Big Top Championship Wrestling, I think it's called, or Big Top Wrestling.
Heard of them, but I haven't seen it.
It's all circus themed.
Yeah.
And I think their main championship is the center ring or the ringmaster championship. It's fantastic.
That's funny. A nice roll up by Williams too. Only two.
Yeah. Something I recently learned, according to Jonathan Gresham, the foundation is not as stable. It was kind of more of a name for a movement for the pure wrestler. And Terminus happened recently. How great was the fact that they put out their rule set and really were trying to make sure this was a very defined pure wrestling show.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And to the point where the first disqualification was newsworthy.
Yeah, they enforced the rules.
The first knockout was newsworthy. And there were I saw headlines about as Terminus was happening. I think it was Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful was live tweeting the show.
No crap, just Sapp, Sean Ross Sapp.
Right. And it's good stuff. And Bandito showing up at the end.
Now they're going to have the unification match set for Ring of Honor. Huge Hurricane Rana off the top rope. Holy cow!
Boomer really bringing the fight to Tracy Williams. Ooh, knee to the middle. No, into the sort of a modified abdominal stretch. He's got him deep into that stretch.
Oh, he hip tossed him right out of it.
What do we got here? Ooh.
Does he actually call a move the OK Boomer? Because he really should.
He should if he doesn't.
We're going to give you that one for free, man. Big power bomb, jackknife style. Think this might be it.
1, 2.
There you go.
It is
wonderful.
Boomer Hatfield. Now,
ooh, he's exhausted looking.
Oh well, and it's not going to get any better for him
Our
because
referee too also looks exhausted, probably because they're bleeding from the forehead.
probably that'd do it. He will now face the winner between Mads Kruger and Jody himself in round 2. Which, if I'm Boomer, I'm hoping Jody wins. Because
There should be a tag team of Jake something and Jody himself.
Agreed. Yes.
Like, let's get more obscure names. And here comes Bateman, currently 1/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championship.
That's right.
Against the master of the 619, San Diego's own Rey Mysterio.
I love that logo for him and Dominic.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Dominic is going to take over the mask.
I wonder. I think we'll get a feud between them first.
Here's how I see it going. Celebrates with his dad after like feigning that he's like forgiven him for losing some matches. Puts him on his shoulders. Electric chair drop.
Yeah. Yep.
The more I think about it, the more escalated I want it to be. Like maybe he like celebrates with his dad in the middle of the Rumble, and then electric chair drop eliminates him. I am a strange man.
You are, but that's what makes this work.
Now, I was wondering, what do you think belts? Do you think every championship is going to carry over into the new Ring of Honor?
I don't know. I think part of it is probably going to come down to who they can get.
I do think condensing would be a little bit of a good idea, but also, I mean, there's been big things. Roxy lost the Women's World Championship to
Deonna Purrazzo.
Yeah, just to show that the best wrestlers coming out of New Jersey.
I guess that's true. Although we do have California and Oklahoma represented in this match.
Rey Mysterio, obviously known throughout the cruiserweight legends. It's amazing how many times WWE promotes like Mexicans' best wrestlers, and he is not from Mexico.
Nope. No, he is a traditional luchador, and that Conan kind of discovered him and brought him up through the world of lucha libre, but I mean he's been
those matches in ECW were like
he's been stateside since '94. Was that when
I still love that clip of him? Was he jumping off of the elevated section of the ECW arena onto Psychosis that Hurricane Rana into the crowd? That was and then everybody like remembers like certain spots like Kevin Nash lawn darting him into the WCW truck.
Yep. Yeah.
I still think to this day it was such a mistake to take the mask off of him in WCW. I mean, like what were you accomplishing then? Because it's not like, oh, it's him. It's like it's not like it's not like it was a reveal. Like when Dean Malenko took off the mask, and we were all like,
when Cyclope unmasked.
One of the best pops ever.
Oh, absolutely. That's probably top 5 pops I've ever heard. Like right up there.
And if Jericho was here, he would make sure that he would let you know why he was the reason that it was such a good.
That's right. Yes.
Pop.
Yes.
And then, Pat, that's really good. But let's talk about this energy drink sponsor. I always hear that in his podcast. He does like that mid laugh, like, that's really good. But I want to talk to you a second about.
Let's talk about Bombas.
It's like that's the easiest edit in the world. So what do we know about Bateman?
Bateman is 20-year pro, which kind of a late bloomer on the national scene, thanks to exposure in Ring of Honor, and more recently New Japan has been performing on Strong a lot. But yeah, he feuded with OGK in Ring of Honor, Bandito, Brody King. From Moore, Oklahoma. He's got a size advantage over Ray, but so does everyone.
I was going to say, most people do, unless they're also a cruiserweight.
Right, yeah. But I mean, even then, if I remember right, like when Ray showed up in WCW, he only weighed like 140 pounds. He's up to about 175, 180 now.
I mean,
But
they only dropped the heavyweight part of when his world championship win happened because
yeah, definitely not a heavyweight. Yeah. I mean, Bateman, he was a member of the Righteous in Ring of Honor for the dying days of that promotion.
That was Vincent's stable. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yep, it was him. In fact, it was him, Vincent, and Dutch were the final parentheses question mark parentheses. Ring of Honor
obviously, I think we could safely say that the show Ring of Honor is coming back. Obviously, it won't be. Doesn't seem like it's going to be televised, but it will be like a kind of all-star type of show. Harkening back to its like early days. Which, hey, if that's the direction they want to go, awesome. Let it do it.
Those early shows were great.
Yeah. I still think, though, that, maybe a rebranding could have been in order. Because people associate Ring of Honor with, now it's expected to be a certain level.
Right.
But, it's hard to do that now if there's no television and then there's no, regular series of shows.
Right. Yeah. It'll be an adjustment. I'm really interested to see what happens. I'm glad to hear that they have a plan, because when the news first broke late last year that they were going to be, taking time off, drop the dime off the top rope with that leg drop.
I mean, I was quick to dismiss it as the end of the promotion.
Yeah, exactly. Same here.
Nice elbow drop.
Lots of elbows tonight.
I mean, everybody I think tends to talk backstage and see all right, what's the move we're going to try to outdo each other with?
Ooh, twisting brainbuster, and Ray goes tumbling to the floor. Diving axe handle from Bateman. That's Barb Sasaki from Stardom is our referee. Oh man, X Factor on the floor by Ray.
I love this description. The dangerous and bizarre Bateman, who describes himself as a handsome sociopath with violent tendencies.
I wonder where that name came from then.
Yeah.
Handsome sociopath.
His name is Tyler.
Violent tendencies. Yeah. That's true. It is actually his name. It's Tyler Bateman. But yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that he's sort of modeled himself after another famous Bateman. As we all know, Arrested Development's Jason Bateman is famous for being. I'm kidding.
Oh, that was close. Thought that was going to happen for him. Nice spinning elbow. What's your favorite Rey Mysterio match?
Ooh,
if you have to pick.
Ooh, if I have to pick,
for the sake of this, you have to pick.
Since we've established
for this discussion, you have to pick.
I still think my favorite series of matches he ever had was the run with Psychosis in ECW and WCW. But in terms of just a straight up one-on-one Rey Mysterio match, sort of a deep cut because it's a really short match. But the match he had with Kurt Angle at SummerSlam 02, 03 was.
I mean, he was part of that, the SmackDown 6, as it was called, and such. You can pull anything from that era.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pretty much any match that he had with the Guerreros or Angle or Benoit from that era was all.
Ooh, nice wheelbarrow bulldog.
I think it's a little laggy on my end, but I did see Ray plant him with a DDT there.
A big leg drop. I believe that now Vincent is part of the Honor No More is what they're calling themselves. Him and the Kingdom and PCO.
Interesting. I like that.
There's some good stable wars going on with Impact Wrestling right now. The the Good Brothers have aligned with Violence by Design to call themselves the Violence Alliance. Such a
I
good
like
ring
that.
to that one.
Yeah. It's like it's
I
close
would love to
enough to.
see. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying it's close enough to a rhyme where it sounds good rolling off the tongue, but it's also like it's not quite poetic, which makes sense for the Good Brothers, who are not exactly, poets. Oh man, buzzsaw kick into a leg drop from Ray. Scooping a slam.
I brief, like
Oh,
I thought he was a nice frog splash,
shades of his late friend Eddie Guerrero, and
and
that
that's
is
what does it.
enough. Rey
I think Rey
Mysterio.
Mysterio, when he was in Lucha Underground, was like they gave him like this really cool advanced like superhero mask,
Mm-hmm.
and it was such a great look for it. I was just like, yes, let Rey Mysterio be a superhero in this world. I love it.
Yeah.
Because he had his own like bat signal too.
Yeah. I mean, Ray is one of those guys, like his whole career, he's kind of been pigeonholed as, the little guy. But if you really kind of let him shine, like Lucha Underground did, like obviously like his early WCW days did, I mean, he's a merch mover. He's,
Oh, absolutely.
he's a huge fan favorite. Do I have to go into the whole Drillistico thing?
No,
again?
no, we've said that enough on this show.
This is just Cliff's Notes version. This isn't the original
Yes,
Mystico.
the original Sin Cara of WWE is Dralistico right now, and he is going up against the hardcore icon Tommy Dreamer.
Yes, and our colorfully attired referee is Takayuki Bakery Yagi from Dragon Gate.
I'm going to call him the Baker.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Why not?
So Tommy Dreamer is one of only a handful of wrestlers in the 500 who was in the very first PWI 500 back in 1991.
Wow.
I went through, and I think, unless I missed some, he has been in all but 4 PWI 500 listings since 1991, finishing as high as number 28 back in 2000. Which I believe was the year he finally won the ECW world title in that.
Only to be upset by a loss immediately after from Just Incredible.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Pride goeth before the fall of any champion, it seems.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
But to be fair, like, I was like, dude, no, why? What? Don't, no. Don't. Yeah. There's no reason for you to defend this right now.
No, you've finally overcome a decade of, getting booed out of the building, and then finally getting the fans' affection for having the crap beat out of you by Sandman and Raven.
Choke slammed off of the top of the arena by the wall.
Yeah.
Or 911. Excuse me.
911. Yeah.
Yeah. The inventor of the choke slam, apparently.
Yeah, if you ask him.
Or at least that's what Paul Heyman claims.
Yes. Which seems unlikely, because unless he was doing it pre-1990, Undertaker was definitely doing a choke slam in his early matches.
Well, I mean, everybody knows that everyone's stolen everything from ECW.
Well, they've stolen a lot.
Yeah.
But no real reason to make stuff up. Drillistico, we misspoke a little bit earlier. The original Mystico is Mystico again. This was the second Mystico. So when Mystico left to go to WWE to become Sin Cara, he became Mystico. But now he is Drillistico because Mystico.
Yeah, this is just it's and I'm cross-eyed.
Yes. He this is the one that teams with Caristico and Volador Jr.
For God's sakes, can't they just get a little bit more defined gimmick names for these guys?
Yes.
Please.
And Valiente was also...
See, there's a name.
I remember, yeah.
That's a great name.
They were El Sky team for most of the year. He has since left CMLL, so who knows if he's going to keep the Drillistico name.
Probably not.
Probably not. He'll probably have something else when he inevitably. My hunch would be he'll show up in AAA.
Yeah, the Mexico promotions have a lot of protective. I think they copyright names more than WWE does their own.
They might, yeah.
When they own a name, like they own a name.
Oop,
It's a reason why
Pentagon
Pentagon is not
Gee.
why Penta El Cerro M is not Pentagon Junior.
Yep, and
or
why
just Pentagon in general,
and why his brother is Ray Phoenix instead of just Phoenix.
Right?
Because he's Phoenix in AAA, but when he's not in AAA, no sort of variation on the Dreamer driver there. But Tommy, the 32-year pro from Yonkers, has to take a moment
and
to
still kicking butt in Impact.
Yeah, although I think he is no longer under contract with Impact, but he does still make appearances for them occasionally.
I did love when they did the throwback shows that both times he just appeared as himself.
Yes, yeah. no gimmick needed. He's Tommy Dreamer.
No. Tommy Dreamer has always been Tommy Dreamer in any era and time and universe.
Yep. The t-shirt and tights. That's the Tommy Dreamer approach since, well, as long as I've been watching him.
Well, I mean, did you see him when he used to wrestle in the suspenders?
Yes.
Oh boy,
that was a look.
Apparently, he said like he was trying to go for like the exotic dancer type look, and I'm like, dude, you don't dance.
No. Johnny Swinger, much more believable in that role.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, the best thing that ever happened to Tommy was getting caned by the Sandman.
Yeah.
Turned him into a hardcore icon.
Ooh.
Backslide from, I was not expecting that to do it, but
I was just going to say, like, by the way, Dralistico really showing he has out-wrestling Tommy Dreamer, and that's exactly what he did to get the 3, and now a little celebratory motion in the ring.
Little dancey dance. And he will face the winner of this match in round 3.
Mike Outlaw.
Independent star.
Not much known about Mike Outlaw.
No, he's only 7-year pro out of St. Louis, 213 pounds. He bounced around GCW, Glory Pro. He made an appearance at Black Wrestlers Matter, WrestleMax St. Louis. Challenged AJ Gray for the Crown of Glory Championship last January. Came up short. But yeah, Outlaw is kind of one to watch for in the coming year. He's on the come up.
He's got a lot going right for him now against Shane Taylor.
Yep.
The founder of Shane Taylor Promotions.
That's right. That's what that logo next to his name there was. We mentioned that Outlaw is 213 pounds. He's given up 125 to Cleveland's own notorious Shane Taylor. And
a lot of the higher numbered PWI wrestlers here, they got a lot to prove. They're going to put out all the stops. You never know what can happen. We've seen upsets all the time here. So
we saw Boomer Hatfield pulled one off in our opener tonight.
It's
the 423
the luck of the draw, and sometimes I think the more veteran wrestlers can tend to underestimate the younger guys, the ones who feel like they've got a little bit more to prove. But Shane Taylor, I mean, this guy, just powerhouse.
Yes.
And I mean that in the actual sense of the term, not just a gimmick name. No offense to Powerhouse. Tops.
No. Who is also a powerhouse, but...
absolutely. He could kill me.
Yes. Yes. But yeah.
Man could murder me with a snarl.
The best snarl in wrestling. But yeah, Shane Taylor was a former ROH 6-man tag champion with Moses and Khan from Shane Taylor Promotions. Obviously, they don't have the titles anymore because we saw Bateman come out with his a couple matches ago. But yep, a little bit of a slide from Taylor from the previous year. He had been number 65 on the 2020 list. dropped down to 138 this year. But again, I don't know how much of that is Taylor slipping and how much it is the rest of the world getting better. It was
that's a good point.
It was a big year in pro wrestling. The indies really, the opening of the Forbidden Door did a lot for independent wrestling. So you see a lot higher rated indie guys this year than you had previously. A huge rise in intergender wrestling. So you're seeing people like, Trish Adora scored, ranked very, very high on the list, whereas she hadn't necessarily the year before. So it's interesting. Ooh, double knee off the top from Taylor, but
he caught him.
But Outlaw kind of rolled through it into an arm bar.
I mean, that's a lot of weight coming down to you on the top rope, and you really got to brace yourself if you're trying to roll into a choke. Of course, we've got our 20 count as standard. But, right onto the pads. I mean, the pads are thin. They're not all that protective onto the floor.
They're primarily there for aesthetics, more so than they are for actual protection.
I mean, we make sure things are safe here in our rings, of course. We go by the virtual standards and practices of professional wrestling in this multiverse that we're in.
Yeah, we're all of our matches are sanctioned by the virtual. What is it? Oh shoot! No, I'm blanking on it. What did they always say whenever they would have matches in Vegas?
Championship committee.
The Nevada.
Like the state commission. Yeah.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Big German suplex.
The Nevada Athletic Commission. That's what it was.
Yes.
So it's the.
You think you're gonna stop saying German suplex in NXT?
I don't know. It broke my heart a little bit when I had to go into the bracket and change Walter's name.
I mean, he's always been Gunther, obviously.
Yes, we've always been at war with East Asia.
What a dumb lateral move in name. It's not even like he got something cool. It's like if Sting was just like, I'm Steve.
Yes. Fear me, for I am Gary.
Yeah, Walter was already like he made himself a presence. He's known. You've been promoting him as Walter this entire time. Why? Just to and then they were like, trademark? What trademark? We didn't do a trademark. What are you talking about?
Can't trademark a name, silly Billy.
The only thing that'll come out of that name change is when he does eventually decide either to not renew his contract or, God forbid he gets released. He can just go back to being Walter and he'll be fine.
Yeah. Walter would be an excellent fit on a per appearance basis in Ring of Honor.
For sure.
Imagine Walter against Shane Taylor.
Yes.
Just how
I want it.
Brutal that series of matches would be.
Book it now. Make it happen.
Mike Outlaw seemingly content to get the count out. 17, 18. I believe that's Daisuke Kiso is our referee.
He was Shane Taylor was holding his ribs.
Yeah.
May have injured them while fighting on the outside. Holy cow.
Didn't prevent
what an inverted suplex.
Pulling off that Eastern European suplex. Vertical from Mike Outlaw.
Is that what we're going to call it now?
I'm trying stuff out. We'll see.
I can come around to that.
Yeah.
Spiral suplex.
Brainbuster almost from Outlaw. Collar and elbow. Taylor. Like, you're going to go after my ribs? Well, here.
I will destroy yours.
And then that inverted suplex.
He's just been tossing Mike Outlaw around.
Yeah.
I don't know how Outlaw has been able to. A rocker dropper.
Guillotine cutter. Yeah, the rocker dropper. 2, 3.
Whoa!
Mike Outlaw pulls off the massive upset over Shane Taylor. The number 375 seed. We're going to see Mike Outlaw and Dralistico now in round number 2.
Amazing.
Shane Taylor goes down in the first round. Did not see that coming.
Obviously, Taylor didn't either.
No, he did not.
And here comes Kojima.
Yeah, Satoshi Kojima having a sort of an American Renaissance in well, I guess that happened after the evaluation period for
When
the
you can
PWI
pop your
500.
pecs like he does, you're going to get over.
Yes. Yeah. As evidenced by the brief but memorable face turn of Chris Masters.
And here comes a man who proclaims not only that he is proud and powerful, but that he is the best, the best, the best, the best, the best,
the best. Yeah,
and will
tension
claw
brewing in
you
the inner
down like a
circle.
puma too.
Yes. Tension brewing in the inner circle. Looks like
It's
Proud
about
and
time.
Powerful maybe about to split off. I mean, it's literally that stable formed on the first ever AEW Dynamite in the closing
And a
moments
hot
of that
start.
first show. Yeah, absolutely.
Although the more I hear Jericho like do interviews, the more I hear like, oh yeah, these were guys I always wanted to be with from the start, handpicked them, and then like they bring up another tag team. I would have loved to have had them in there. I'm like, dude,
yeah,
you can just say that you made this stable and you're here to like put the guys over. And the thing is, I think people are starting to realize maybe just associating themselves with Jericho isn't all that good a thing nowadays.
yeah, it's it was
Take
great
that
in
for
the
what you
beginning
will, folks.
because Jericho got a lot of eyes on the product that maybe otherwise wouldn't have. But you know, I feel like they've kind of evolved beyond that at this point. And
But you know Jericho, he's like the last of this kind, as he will tell you.
and he's not wrong. There's
Well, there are some things.
well, I mean, he's wrong about many things, but that's not necessarily one of them.
I'm really hoping for these guys to. I mean, give me the trio of them in Kingston like now.
Yes.
I want to see that because they had a fantastic rivalry in Impact when he had the OGs of Homicide and
Kingston
Hernandez
Yep.
going up against their version of LAX.
Yep. Yeah, I'm a little surprised Homicide didn't make more AEW appearances, but
I thought he was going to be coming back. Actually, I don't know why. I thought he was going to come show up at the last, the most recent Dynamite. I forgot what it was that made me think he was going to show up. I thought he was going to like help out Kingston again. Who get better, Eddie? I know you got that orbital bone fracture. Ow.
Yeah. That's a bone I didn't know existed until 1995 when WWF ran that story with Undertaker and Mabel.
I learned so much about the human anatomy from pro wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the
midsection called the solar plexus.
Yep. Or the bread basket and the whatever occipital protuberance in the back of the head that Gorilla Monsoon liked to talk about.
Kojima has some of the best corner chops.
Oh yes,
maybe after Kenta Kobashi, the endless and like just when you think he's about to stop,
stops, catches his breath for a second, and then
goes for that corner clothesline all the time, and never, not from what I've seen recently, has been very hard to follow up with that elbow drop, that combination that he always likes to do. It's kind of like him and Hanma never being able to get that head drop. A falling headbutt that he does off the just run.
Except he did at the at Wrestle Kingdom.
Which was a great moment. There was a wrestler in a promotion, Defiant, in England, named by the name of Kirby. And his finisher was the Zoidberg elbow, where he'd go to the second rope and then crab crawl against it, and then go for an elbow drop. And he only hit it once, and it was one of the last shows, and it's when he won their championship. Such a great moment. The crowd went nuts.
Why not Zoidberg?
Kojima was recently one of the imports, as it were, from New Japan for the Forbidden Door matches, facing off against Moxley.
John Moxley at All Out in Chicago, which was a transcendent experience being in the crowd for that.
Well, that's right. You got to see that match.
I was there.
Yeah.
And then the aftermath with Suzuki showing up and Death Valley Driver from Ortiz, but Kojima just bounces right back up.
Kojima has such a thick neck and like head and shoulder area that the guy can take the biggest drops that you can put on him. And Lord knows he loves to drop the Kojima cutter
off the top rope.
Ooh.
But he's not able to capitalize.
I mean, it seems like it took as much out of Kojima as it did.
Well, with a move like that, I mean,
out of Ortiz,
he dropped farther than Ortiz did. He just didn't have the extra force of, it hurt Ortiz more because Kojima was holding onto his head and neck and driving him into the mat, but Kojima had to fall a long way. So understandable it took him a minute to Ortiz with the Tiger Driver. 1, 2, 3. No.
Ooh, very close.
Very, very close.
He is Kojima, former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, multiple-time IWGP Tag Team Champion.
Yep, with the Hiroyoshi.
I believe he's also won with the many combinations of the Never championships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
another Kojima cutter.
He's an icon. But Ortiz again bounces right back up. Powerbomb
jackknife.
It worked for Boomer Hatfield earlier. Pulls him to his feet though.
Big elbow to the back of Kojima's huge head.
Yeah. Ortiz had actually had a 5-star match during the evaluation period. That brawl against the Best Friends.
What a great match!
16th Dynamite. Yeah, that was. I mean, that's really that should have been what kind of launched Proud and Powerful into championship contention, which is something that just hasn't really happened yet for them.
Hopefully now they'll climb the rankings. We'll get a soon-to-be championship win under their belts.
Another Koji cutter. Or cozy cutter, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Short arm clothesline. Ortiz back suplex.
A tag team match I'd love to see would be Proud and Powerful versus Gorillas of Destiny.
Ooh, that would be fun.
I mean, Proud and Powerful versus Briscoes. Ooh, that was was that an Emerald Fusion?
Almost, yeah. It lagged just a little bit, but it looked like that's what he was setting up for. Before
I have the only reason I know that move name is because of the Create a Wrestler move sets from the WWE games.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Yeah, he did the saying. Love it.
And
he gets the elbow.
Drops the elbow. That might be it.
Could this finally be the win?
2. It is.
Kojima with the win.
Minor. I mean, according to the rankings, it's an upset, but you should never be surprised by a Kojima win.
I mean, experience from Kojima is it goes a long way.
Yes.
And that is our first half, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to take a quick 5-minute break, and when we come back, we'll have the second half of the tournament. I know this has been a little bit of a rushed episode. We'll take a little bit of time to catch up in the world of wrestling on our comeback, but we hope that you'll be back with us. And, of course, we've got fantastic matches coming your way. Stick with us. We will be back. And we're back.
Here we are.
So let's do a little catch up on the world of pro wrestling. First off, the big news: John Moxley is back. He looks better than ever.
He looks
I am very thankful that he looks just in great condition. He looks leaner, definitely
Mhm.
like it lost the alcohol weight, as it were, basically.
Yeah.
Um, and
Obviously, he drinks his blood.
obviously not shy to
No,
say what's on his mind.
no. Kind of blew Jericho's catchphrase for him. Uh,
God, that felt so weak after after like it was just like, listen, if you're gonna say it, just say
yeah.
it. And also, if you go to a wrestling show, you pay for your ticket, and you say something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking is going to happen? You think
Yeah.
people are going to turn around to next to you and be like, haha, good one. Nice way to mock his tragedy.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
yeah, probably, because that's probably what all of his idiot friends did when he told them that he was going to go and do that in the arena.
I doubt that conversation happened. Let's be real.
I don't know. I'm sure he, in some corner of the internet, he's a hero, just like the Nyla Rose sign guy.
Yeah, I'm glad at least AEW has been smart enough to just be like, no, we're not going to tolerate this.
No,
We're not going to have it. We're not going to be.
We're not that kind of company.
You know what I realized? The reason that I'm lagging so much, for some reason, my internet connections here says that I'm like, it's odd. It's weirdly saying I'm at like 0 sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I mean, that would cause lags.
Anyway, um, but yeah, the Ring of Honor invasion has still been going on in Impact. Um, there are kind of like now anyone from AEW could show up as contracts are kind of coming to the end over there.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yep.
the
Leo
thing
Rush
at
will
least
be a
that
free
you
agent
can,
recruits.
yeah, they're going to be free agents. It's not so much like they're getting fired or
Right.
released. They're just like, well, if you want to go somewhere else, doors always open.
Yep.
And that's a good business practice.
Yeah. You fulfilled your contractual obligation to us. If you want to re-up for another year, cool. If not, actual best of luck in your future endeavors.
Yeah, like legitimately.
Yeah.
I'm just catching up on some stuff. Apparently, and I was reading about this, I think from Fightful, USA executives are and WWE executives apparently are not happy with the new NXT.
You don't say.
The main reason is because of the target demographic they've been reaching.
You mean
And
the elusive men 63 to 65 demographic?
yeah, the whole idea was to be, yes, let's get in the younger crowd, let's get in the the all the AEW type fan base into our show. And I'm thinking, well, a good way to do that is maybe not have Joe Gacy's character exist,
Mm-hmm.
and also not let the show be booked by Bruce Pritchard. Just
Mm-hmm.
how about that?
Yeah.
Also, maybe letting wrestlers be wrestlers
Yeah.
and
I mean,
not full-time
having,
occupation and also a wrestler.
I just don't get, like, if you want that AEW crowd, you have Tommaso Ciampa, you had Johnny
Yeah.
Gargano, you had Shane Strickland, you had an AEW style roster, and you let almost all of them go in favor of guys that would be losing on Dark every week.
Yeah.
Until they could find an audience. It's like an entire roster made up of Fuego del Sols.
And that's almost an insult to Fuego. We love you, Fuego.
Okay, it's an entire roster made up of Fuego Juniors.
Yeah, well, God, he has such a strong resemblance to somebody, and I cannot put my finger on it. I'm sure he's all right.
We'll figure it out. Well,
yeah,
it's bound to come out.
God, what a
I'm sure when
nightmare
he
that must
unmasks,
be,
it's
though.
going to be like Rey Mysterio, where it's like, oh, hey, it's a guy.
Probably no one of significance.
Nah.
God, what a nightmare that must be.
Yeah. True American nightmare.
Yeah, but I caught up on MLW with Azteca Underground that's
Same.
been going on lately. These shows are amazing. I
Yep.
love them. Finally got to see one of my favorite wrestlers from Lucha Underground reappear, Drago,
Oh, I love
the
Drago.
living dragon. I love that. That mask and that prosthetic tongue is just freaky as hell, and it's awesome.
It's not quite the same without the Lucha Underground ring announcer introducing him as from El Inframundo. But it's still great to see Drago in action. I really like Aerostar too.
He's from outer space.
He is. One of my favorite endings to a Lucha Underground episode ever is
he
when
it's into space.
The two of them outside and
my planet needs me now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Aerostar did not die on his way back to his home planet. But yeah, he just turns on his jetpack and leaves Boyle Heights, and Drago.
I mean, who knew that a backpack full of sparklers could launch you back to space? It
certainly didn't work for Max Moon in the early days. So
that's because it wasn't Conan.
That's probably true. It should have been. I mean, and it was once, and then it was
in a very cool suit, and then disappeared.
Yep.
I always was fascinated by that. It was like, Conan was Max Moon? When? Yep. Just once.
Just for that very first show. Ogie Oglethorpe, I also want to see Josh Alexander against Speedball Mike Bailey. Bailey's one of those guys that is majorly on the come up. He's going to be a massive star before the end of the year.
Speedball Mike Bailey, by the way, thanks for joining us in the chat. If you have not seen his work in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, please look it up. Holy cow. I've been fascinated with him since first seeing him. I'm so glad he's gotten into a North American promotion now on television. Rightfully so. And he is going to be just he will literally make an impact. Yes. And I'm very happy to see that. But Pat, you know what's coming up next week?
What's coming up next week?
My favorite of not only is it my 36th birthday on next Friday, this Friday rather, but this Saturday, it's the greatest WWE event ever.
It's the greatest Royal Rumble?
No, you silly man. It's just the Royal Rumble.
Oh, the real one, not the crap they put on for
the one that the one that isn't bought by a Saudi Arabian prince.
Nice. Okay.
Who apparently wanted to see Yokozuna.
Yep, that's why they had that random sumo wrestler in it.
Well, you can't have Yokozuna. He's dead.
He has been dead for quite a while.
And you know what, Jam 77, that is the question I was just about to ask. Because here's the tough thing: there's always who you think is going to win, and then who you'd like to win. I have no idea who they have been trying to promote as the guy who you think is going to win. Usually around this time, there's always like one star that they're heavily pushing. Yeah, that's true. You could have Yokozuna there, but it would just be very bad.
It would have smelled a little. Lost a lot of weight. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Damn it. Like we all figured at around this time of year. Like it was 2 years ago rather. With it
was gonna be Drew.
Yeah. Like he was pushed so hard, and he was legit making just like he went into business for himself. Everyone was behind it, and they actually listened, which was great. Mm-hmm. This time I have no idea. Like, is it Seth? Is it Kevin Owens? Because those are two guys that I keep getting pushed. Mm-hmm. Like, could it be Sami Zayn? Like, just from the amount of exposure he's getting? Personally, who I want to win is Big E. I mean, he's been my pick for this year the whole time. I've been hoping that like this was what would lead to his first title win. This is one of the reasons that I don't like Money in the Bank sometimes. And for me, I feel like maybe the time period for cash-ins should be limited to the end of WrestleMania to the next Money in the Bank, so that that post Survivor Series road to WrestleMania that they build up can be like, now we're going to build contenders, but you know,
But they don't
like
do
I
that.
get, yeah, they barely do that as it is.
Yeah, they
But
don't.
yeah, my pick is Big E as who I'd like to see win, because I would love to see him versus Roman, get that WrestleMania moment,
Yep.
and really just get a real solid win for his title.
Yep. 100% agreed.
Who's your pick?
I'm also on the Big E bandwagon. I was hoping that when he dropped the title to Brock, I wish he hadn't been the one to take the fall in that match, but that's neither here nor there. I was hoping that was building to him.
Sorry, Jam brings up a good point. Money in the Bank is weird for faces to win that way.
Yes.
Like, if you're a heel and you're sneaking in, I get it. But why not, like, if you're supposed to be, like, shouldn't a tradition for a good guy to be like, listen, I'm cashing it in, and we are going to face off at this match?
It worked for RVD.
Yeah, I mean, I like seeing that. I mean, Impact does it with the option C for the X Division Championship. And they let you know, I'm cashing my title shot in, and it's going to be now, or it's going to be, or rather, not going to be now. It's going to be at this date.
Right.
It sets up like a contendership and a prize fight deal. Yeah. Sometimes the surprise wins can be, like they can make for good moments, but
and then sometimes Jack Swagger wins.
I will say that did kind of like put him into a new light, that people were somewhat respecting his abilities in that sense. But then they just tried to make him Kurt Angle.
And it didn't get off to a great start when he couldn't unfasten the briefcase from the from the hook, which has been conveniently edited on Peacock.
Seems a lot of things are conveniently edited.
He climbs up the ladder and then pulls down the briefcase. And
speaking of guys who climbed up a ladder and should have just pulled the briefcase down, despite the fact that Brock Lesnar could have taken his time to get to the ring, Mustafa Ali has decided that he is publicly declaring he wants his release from the WWE, and the WWE's response was, nah. No. How? Come on. Now, Vince McMahon is not the most in-touch person when it comes to the zeitgeist and what is seen as probably offensive to most. So it's easy to kind of surmise what he may have pitched to Mustafa Ali as his next gimmick that made him say, I don't want any part of that, and I'd like to leave.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We already know it has to be worse than Retribution.
Yes.
Because he did Retribution and
he tried to make it work.
And he tried
really
and it almost did. And it almost did.
When he revealed himself to be the leader and was like, yes, I was the hacker, and then he tied it into the formation of Retribution, I was like, okay, cool. You are at least putting in the effort to turn this around.
Yep.
And then they were like, okay, we're going to take that. Oh, geez. You know what? Jam 77, I would not be surprised.
Nope.
I would not be surprised. I wasn't going to say it out loud, but I feel like it was definitely going to go into stereotype gimmick that he was like, no, I'm a police officer from Chicago who made it as a pro wrestler. Why should I be anything different than who I am? And good for you, Mustafa Ali, for sticking to it. And, there's just this continual eye opener for wrestlers realizing WWE is not the end all be all destination, and if anything, it can sometimes be a stepping stone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at some of the guys in AEW up toward like Jon Moxley was a huge star on the Indies. He was, he was going to be a big star. But would he have made the immediate impact in AEW that he did if he hadn't been Dean Ambrose for a few years?
I loved when he debuted and he showed up in the ring and he just like took in the air of this is what I missed. Like, I was just like, I was like, you can tell that is a renewed spirit. And you see that when a lot of talents um, step away from WWE. And then there are some that are fun to me that I listen to kind of dance around like the noticeable differences they have in other promotions. The former Tom Phillips, um,
Mhm.
he was getting interviewed by Renee Paquette on on her podcast. And he was like, "What are some of the biggest differences that you have an impact?" And he was like, "I was able to call Bullet Club Bullet Club." And I'm like, that is the safest thing you could say. Because this man knows that sometimes things can, they can go up, and maybe the option should still be there to have work in another place. I totally get that, but man, that was certainly one of the safest answers you can do.
Yes.
And Renee was honest. She was like, "I was just happy that I don't have Vince McMahon in my ear anymore all the time yelling at me."
Yep.
I think that's everybody's relief when they don't have to do commentary for the
Yeah.
show anymore.
Yeah. It would. Yeah. I can't imagine. Like, I've had micromanagers in the past, but I can't imagine them like literally being in my head while I'm trying to do my job.
I was actually just reading a headline from SES Scoops. Vince McMahon shows no signs of slowing down. But then again, the quote is from Bruce Pritchard from the Something to Wrestle podcast.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say the quote is from 1997. But
yeah, this is like, okay. Yeah, I can't imagine him not doing it, and I'm sure that he will continue to do it probably for the next 25 to 30 years. Vince McMahon is in his 70s. Right?
Looking it up now. He is.
And apparently his mother is still alive at 101 years old.
She is, yeah. Vince is 76.
Okay, so the McMahons have a tradition of refusing to die. They will not put over death.
Yes.
76 years old, showing no signs of stopping, even though he probably should because he may work himself to death.
And
that is a quote from me.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, he also has made terrible decisions since
early 2000s.
Yeah.
Post WCW purchase.
Much. It's just it's so weird that like the competition from WCW forced him to step up his game in the late 90s, which led to the Attitude Era, which led to him winning the war. They have their first real competition since then, and it's getting worse. Like somehow, it's basically, I mean, NXT 2.0 is like Raw in 1993.
Oh, it's total new generation stuff.
Yeah. It's like,
and not the good new generation part.
Rob Bartlett to come out to do commentary.
Honestly, and I still say it, like the only real noticeable talent that has come out of there is Braun Breaker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why even though they still allude and pretty much blatantly say, "Oh yeah, this is Rick Steiner's kid," they refuse to call him anything but.
They won't call him a Steiner.
I don't get it. So, in terms of the Royal Rumble, also I think that we're going to have a back-to-back winner of the Women's Royal Rumble with the EST, Bianca Belair. I am very much I'm a big fan of hers. It's just a standout talent. Mm-hmm. There's obviously going to be a lot of surprises. The biggest one that was not so much really a surprise, but has been announced, and it's kind of transparent that this is a make good apology to how they released her. But Mickie James, the current Impact Knockouts champion, will be entering the Rumble. I would love, and I don't know if it's going to necessarily happen, but man, if Bayley shows up,
I hope she does.
That would be great.
And I mean, this may be selfish of me because I made the prediction 6 or 7 years ago that Bayley could be the next John Cena if they would just let her be Bayley on the main roster. I would love to see.
She's so good a heel.
She was an excellent heel. She's a very, very good heel. Yeah.
It may be one of those instances where it's like she just keeps doing what she's doing, and then fans just force it because they
Yeah.
like her so much.
Yeah. I just feel like coming back from an injury is a great time for a character reset.
Oh
And
yeah,
and even if she came out with the wacky inflatable arm waving guys and then
that may
was
happen at
heelish in the
Mania if she
ring.
shows up at Mania too.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
let's say she does go into, it's a perfect like comeback story, but I don't know, it's kind of wishful thinking.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it would be fun if next week, for our next show, we should just do a Rumble show, just talking about the show itself, and then some favorite memories from previous Rumbles. Of course, the greatest of all time being the 1992 Royal Rumble.
Of course.
I think
Gotta
I
be
have never been a fan who has disputed that.
no. The
Like
only
that
one
one
I can
and
think of that's
2000.
close is 2000. Yep, exactly.
See, see.
That's the only other one that's even
I feel
in
like we've also
contention.
had this discussion backstage at Star Tours.
I think we
Like,
have, yeah.
saying the same exact thing.
Yeah. But I mean,
You
yeah,
me
I
and
mean
Benny.
1992 isn't just the best Royal Rumble. It's probably in my top 5 favorite matches of all time.
Hands down.
Just it's an hour of Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer, and they're telling a great story. Bobby Heenan, the greatest color commentator of all time, was never better.
No, he nailed it.
I'm so sorry, Roddy. It's a kilt. It's a kilt. I'm sorry I've been calling it. It's a skirt when he tries to win.
But
I'm looking at the women's
I
Rumble
upload in the
lineup.
chat.
I mean, you got WWE legend Summer Rae in it.
But we are going to get back to the tournament now.
Let's do it. Let's get back to it. We got 5 more big matches here. And Rich Swann has got to be watching this one on a monitor standing sideways.
Max the Impaler.
He will face the winner between Max the Impaler and their opponent, who we will see shortly. The Wasteland Warrior, Max the Impaler. Only a 3-year pro, but they are...
Now, I'd say that's a Road Warrior gimmick because of the movie, not because of the Road Warriors.
Yes. And they're in there against Johnny Hungy.
Johnny is Hungy. John Silver.
And as we learned,
I love his like Sonic the Hedgehog flurry of comeback moves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as we learned Friday on Rampage, I'm jacked.
I mean, he is huge.
Cargo. He's for a guy who's only 5'5", 178 pounds. He is. He's. They used to say Taz was built like a fire hydrant, and that's pretty accurate for John.
Oh, absolutely.
He is thick with 2
one half of the Beaver Boys.
That's right. And
probably the slowly dissolving Dark Order. It's kind of like not quite sure what the future is, but we know that Silver and Reynolds are certainly a lot of people's favorite tag team.
Yeah, they are definitely poised for a breakout once Dark Order fully falls apart. I hope that they keep Anna Jay as part of their act, just because I love the interactions. I like Anna and Stu Grayson too, but
yes, Anna just beating the hell out of Stu Grayson.
But yeah, I think Anna and I mean, there's a reason that Silver was the one that accompanied her to the ring to counteract Smart Mark Sterling on Friday. Absolutely. Max was going for a power bomb, but
wow,
Silver turned it into a triangle choke.
We've talked a lot about John Silver. What do we know about Max the Impaler?
Max the Impaler, again, I mentioned, only a 3-year pro, is from Dayton, Ohio, 5'10", 209. So she's got they've got a pretty sizable size advantage on John Silver. One of the most visible non-binary wrestlers.
The non-binary nightmare.
That's right.
By the way.
Yep. The
6 feet in Meat Mountain. I love nicknames.
That one, I love that though. most actually participated in the women's tournament in Ring of Honor that Roxy won to be the inaugural champion, but also several appearances in the aforementioned Camp Leapfrog, performed in the Heart of the Southern 16 tournament. Heart of the Southern 16 abbreviates to Hoss. So participated in the Hoss tournament, but lost to Colin Delaney in the semis of that. Yeah,
former OVW Women's Champion,
yes.
Has been in IWA Mid South for the women with the Women's Championship with H2O Wrestling, the Hardcore Hustle organization, the H2O Women's Champion. Now, of course, as the settling in as the non-binary nightmare. I mean, good on her living her best life and living their best life in the way that they want to. I'm trying to be as careful as I can with pronouns, just in case. But I mean, I've seen this with other wrestlers who don't identify the truly the advantage they have in wrestle both divisions. I mean, I'm not like saying that as a joke. Like, I think like that is something that can be, really inclusively promoted with wrestlers like this. And holy crap, they are kicking the hell out of John Silver.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
but John, there's that power that just comes out of nowhere sometimes.
A running knee from.
He has got a big
power bomb. Just impaled him on the canvas.
He can be tossed around in the ring so well, and that spear impaled John Silver just then. But also the surprising strength.
Ooh,
like that lung blower power bomb.
Yeah, that was. I mean, he just did that to somebody 31 pounds heavier than he is, and 5 inches tall. And another big spear from Max.
God, that just looked like he just got crippled.
Yeah,
but again, the surprising strength. I would love to see John Silver versus Johnny Gargano.
I mean, AEW Dynamite is in Cleveland this week.
I've been wondering about that. It's possible, but do they need? I mean, well, some room has apparently
Codebreaker from Silver.
It's possible. It's possible.
Only 2.
Oh, very close. But with with John Silver, nothing can possibly go wrong.
Possibly go wrong. It's the first thing that's ever gone
possibly
wrong.
Go wrong. One of my favorite Simpsons jokes.
No.
It's my favorite Simpsons episode.
And remember, we're parked in the itchy lot.
I said that my first trip at Disney World in 1995. My dad was crying, laughing all the way to the
tram.
The tram.
That's great.
Where nothing can possibly go wrong.
Die, bad robot. Like that, I could be an action hero.
I saw John Silver and Alex Reynolds in the New York Wrestling Connection years ago. Silver had again that their offensive tag team maneuvers, just the flurry of move after move after move after move. I was stunned the first time I saw it, and then years later when they show up on they were on Dark, and then they showed up on Dynamite, and they were kind of like, oh, this is the enhancement talent. Holy cow, very nice flying over the top rope and a power lung blower to the outside. Maybe he's trying to get them winded, but no, they both crawl to the ring. Could have been a technique that I could have seen.
Yeah. That's one thing that Fire Pro does that I enjoy. Like, you very rarely see count out finishes in these matches. In fact, I think we've had one through however many 127 at this point. I think we've had one count out.
I forget what Silver's finisher is.
Oop, nope, I do not want to leave the page. Silver, he uses that lung blower a lot.
Yeah.
He also apparently has a move called double penetration, but
I don't
no
think
description for
that'll.
that.
I don't think that one will show up on Dynamite anytime soon.
No, I
By
don't
that
imagine
name.
so.
Although, who knows? Excalibur knows every name of every move ever, apparently.
That's true. And he's willing to make them up if he doesn't already know it. I don't remember who it was, but it was Excalibur was the guest on.
You just hit an Impaler DDT. The irony. Come on.
Why do you think it's called that? Ooh,
oh God!
Just a flat out power slam from Max.
But yeah, you were saying about Excalibur.
Oh, I don't remember which wrestler it was, but like they came to him before the show. They're like, "Hey, I've got Max with a tope of their own." Good Lord, both pulling out all the stops here.
She didn't get the full rotation on it either, or no. They didn't get the full rotation. They could have broken their neck.
Yeah, that was dangerously close to Lita going into the railing against Trish.
I remember that.
That's still one of the grossest. Oh, gut wrench suplex out of a
deadlift. Those forearm strikes.
Beating the hell out of Johnny Hungy.
Silver is in trouble.
Another big spear. But anyway, so they went up to him and it's like, "Hey, I've got this new finisher, but I don't have a name for it." And Cal was like, "Okay, well, I'll try and come up with something." And then, like on the fly during the match, they did the finisher, and Cal named it. I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's what it's called."
Nice.
So not only does he know the name of every move, he also can just make up move names. I'm gonna look that up because that was a fun story, but I don't remember who it was about.
God, just folding him like a pancake. And pancakes don't get folded too often. I don't know why that phrase is common. I don't eat pancakes folded.
No, it's really the only food you should fold is New York style pizza.
Absolutely. And if you're wondering where all the sauce is on a Chicago pizza or cheese is, it's under the sauce.
It's under, yeah. Everything is under the sauce.
Everything is under the sauce.
It's
that's the first time I ever had a pizza with a full sausage in it. Oh, got the submission victory.
Just went straight into that.
Hey, Silver, break it up.
Hey, stop.
We need.
They're already dead.
They're already submitted. Holy cow! That is a side of John Silver I did not know.
Yeah. I think the frustration of having his butt kicked for 19 minutes boiled over there at the end. And now we've got our first intra-promotional match of the night as New Japan Strong's Team Filthy member Royce Isaacs will take on Cue Sonata's music. Sonata.
That's the one benefit of the New Japan wrestlers being in this game.
Yes. Representing LIJ, Los Ingobernables de Japón. Sammy. It was Sammy Guevara's finisher. Well, I got one more for you. The first day that I had to do the commentary alone when we were in Jacksonville, Sammy Guevara was going to win a match. And I said, "What's the name of your finish called?" He said, "I don't know. I haven't come up with a name yet." I went, "Okay." I said, "You need to call..." This is Tony Schiavone telling the story.
Okay.
First day I had to do commentary alone when we were in Jacksonville. Sammy Guevara was going to win a match. And I said, "What's the name of your finish called?" He said, "I don't know. I haven't come up with a name yet." I went, "Okay." I said, "You need to call Excalibur. Maybe you'll have to name another one." Schiavone remarked, "We'll see."
Sonata, man, when he was on fire with the G1 Climax and some of the best matches I saw, I was really hoping that an IWGP championship was in his future. The heavyweight championship at the time wasn't to be, but man, his Cold Skull submission that thing gets locked in, and I'm just like, how are you just not knocked out right away? It's a modified Dragon Sleeper. And what he does is he will not only like pull the head back, but he will wrench his legs around in like a body scissors, just squeezing the air out of people. And he also does the Paradise Lock, which, if you don't know what that is, basically he'll knock you down on the ground and then tie your legs and arms together in a way where you cannot help but just be rolled like a ball.
Yep. Like Daniel Bryan on Saturday Morning Slam. Yeah, the cage match lists 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 signature moves for Sonata, which is that's more than most.
I think that you need those. I like that. I like when a wrestler establishes multiple ways that they can beat you, because if you just see the one move, you're going to be like, oh, okay, it's all leading up to this. Right. But if you know that they have beaten people several times with a variation of moves, you never know when that finish can come.
That's right. Yeah, he's got the skull end, the TKO, the Paradise Lock, rounding body press, missile kick, dragon suplex, tiger suplex, springboard.
Did you see this pin just then? It was like a reverse victory roll into a bridge.
Oh, interesting.
Oh,
there's just a straight dragon sleeper, probably
or kind of cold snap. Yeah.
Skull end.
When he gets the body scissors locked in, then it's technically the cold snap. But he had a fantastic match against Okada, which is, I mean, everybody does, because Okada's fantastic. And it was one of the only real like recent New Japan matches where I was just fully invested in hoping that Sonata was going to take the belt at that time. Or rather just like fully invested in the match in general. But speaking of New Japan, Red Shoes, our referee for tonight.
Of course.
God, I love Red Shoes.
Red Shoes is great.
Love Red Shoes in the fact that when he calls for a 5 count, it's 1, 2, 3, 5.
Yeah.
He doesn't mess around. He wants you to break up that hold.
Which makes sense. No small package from Royce Isaacs. Hoping to get.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been talking about Sonata a lot. Let's talk about Royce Isaacs.
Yeah, Royce Isaacs, kind of bounced around the indies a lot. Oh, nice pop-up powerbomb there. GCW, New Japan Strong. He made a couple appearances on Dark and Elevation. He's one half. He came out as a member of Team Filthy, which is we've got the rolling.
Was that the Madrigal?
Yes, I believe it is. Yeah, yes, yeah, I think that's what that's called. He frequently teams with Jarrell Nelson as the West Coast Wrecking Crew, and both of them have.
He's got a fantastic look. 6'1", 242. Rolls Royce Isaacs. Get it?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at him, the guy is money. The guy's got a look that you're just like, that is star potential on him.
Yeah.
And I hope for big things from him. If he's going to be in New Japan Strong a lot, I certainly will be paying attention to him. Hope to see him. Hope to see him and get the recognition he deserves.
Yeah,
as long as he keeps working hard. And that's the thing. It's a lot of all its potential in the world can only be as good as the person behind it and how hard they're going to be willing to work. And if promotions give them a chance to really show off.
Yeah.
All it takes is one real good match with the right eyes watching.
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that TKO.
And you mentioned, Sonata, the match with Okada. He had a really good match with Tanahashi as part of the G1 Climax the previous year. And he had a good match with Ishii at the New Japan Cup. The right set of eyes on you, the right match with the right opponent. I mean,
that's all it takes.
Yeah. I mean,
looked like he was going to go for top rope, but
he saw Isaac getting
cutter instead. That's the thing. Sonata works the head and the neck so much to make sure that it's weak enough for that cold snap submission. Right. Great storytelling in the ring.
Isaac's going up top of them. Superplex. No.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
no.
I genuinely don't. It looked like he was
What?
going for a sort of a variation on Meteora, but he
It
kind of
looked
turned it
like
into
a
a
sunset flip.
backcracker with a bridge. I genuinely don't know
We're
what to
in
call
the position that we wish we had Excalibur with us right now.
that. Right. I mean, I guess I could fire up Fire Pro and go into his moveset and look it up and see what they call it. But another
Nice
cutter.
cutter.
Again, head and neck. We saw him do the TKO earlier. He's done a couple of cutters. He's just dropping Royce Isaacs on his head and neck as much as he can. And
Sonata has one of the coolest entrance masks I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is rad. It
just looks like Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe movie Epic.
Which the one good thing about the Masters of the Universe movie is Frank Langella as Skeletor.
Frank Langella loves that role. He has many times stated that is one of his favorite performances.
He's the one guy in that movie that understood the assignment.
It's just like Raul Julia in Street Fighter.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Game over.
For me, it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
Oh,
God, deadlift German from Isaacs.
He had some hesitation on it too. Sometimes Pat and I get so invested in the match that we forget we have to call it.
Yeah, but that's the fan in us. With Sonata with a springboard missile drop kick to the side of the head.
He nailed him. The pinpoint accuracy you have to have with a drop kick like that.
Yeah. And the fact that he, most wrestlers will go, to the face or to the back of the head. Hitting him in the side snaps the neck to the side, which is, a much more vulnerable position than straightforward or straight back. Another cutter, just continuing the assault on the neck of Royce Isaacs, which you have to think eventually he's going for that cold snap.
For sure.
Isaacs is he's dancing around it, trying to avoid getting caught in it.
Oh,
for
strong backbreaker.
Ooh,
a big
moonsault.
Another signature move. He's finished people off before with that. Not the case now with Royce Isaacs.
Yep. Isaacs kicks out. Oh, and then just a straight punch to the face.
He cold cocked him with that one.
Yeah.
I've seen some amazing knockouts from just one good punch right to the jawline.
Mm-hmm.
Instant knockouts. There's so many fun compilation videos with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Do you know the YouTube channel Triple Jump?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it wasn't Triple Jump. Triple Jump is great, but that wasn't what I was thinking of. They do really good compilation videos. But Highlight Reel was the YouTube. Yeah. They did their 100 greatest sports bloopers of all time countdown. And I don't remember who the fighters were, but it was a couple of boxers. And one of them gets knocked stupid, into the ropes, barely beats the standing 8 count. And and his opponent is kind of mocking the way he was wobbly after he took the punch. and then he gets knocked out. The guy that took the big hit while the other guy's making fun of him just decks him in the jaw, and he just
damn.
Yeah, well,
never take the time to mock your opponent unless it's wrestling.
Unless it's wrestling.
And it's part of the gig.
Only two.
You notice he's cradling the neck when he pins him too.
Mm-hmm.
But he has been able to, he's been watching DDP tapes if he's been able to get that cutter simply from any type of maneuver. There it is again.
Another bang.
Just don't go for the waist lock from behind, man. It's not going to work.
It hasn't worked yet.
Maybe Royce is just stubborn.
Maybe. Oh, I thought he was going to go for that.
I thought he was going to get another cutter again.
I mean, he still might. Going up to the
big suplex.
Old-fashioned superplex.
A suplex.
Yes, that's right. One of my favorite finishes to a match when I was a kid was the Shawn Michaels British Bulldog Intercontinental title match when
Oh,
Bulldog went
fantastic
for
match.
a superplex and Shawn floated over in midair into a pin. I was like, oh, that's cool. I've seen that superplex spot, 100 times, but I've never seen anybody do that out of it.
Chris Stanlander had a great suplex moment recently where with the stalling suplex on Britt Baker.
Yes.
And
then Orange
Cassidy just
pushed him over. I am curious how long she could have kept going with that.
Oh, probably. Yeah. I mean, and people are like, well, how is that realistic in their whole? I'm like, think of all the blood rushing to the head of the person that's being held up. The amount of strength it takes to do holding a body vertically almost perfectly. Whoa.
Also, I don't feel like I remember people leveling that criticism at Davey Boy Smith when he did it. Oh, just
nice.
Straight into a backslide, that like La Sparta variation. I did not think that was going to do it, but
I mean, it worked. I think that he had been twisted around in his head so much it got him dizzy. Yeah. And when you get hit that many times with cutter, it's certainly going to be effective.
It's disorienting. So now Sonata will face Satoshi Kojima in round 2. And now, listen.
I'm listening.
Platinum Max Caster.
the acclaimed have arrived. Max Caster, I think that, like, if God forbid he ever get like seriously injured or anything, he is such a valuable asset to be the voice for Anthony Bowens, who I am so happy they have let his personality shine, because that music video that the two of them did, I laughed so hard when he dove off of it and he's just in the snow making snow angels.
Yeah. So good.
Now, let me ask you, do you think Wardlow is going to turn this Wednesday, because they are in his hometown, and he did not get that great of a birthday when his pay got docked by MJF?
Yeah. No, yeah, I think Wednesday is finally the day.
I am hoping for, and if I don't get the spot, it's okay, but I think a perfect way is I'm hoping it's Sean Spears, who is amazing lately.
Oh God, as the accountability buddy, he has been fantastic.
I love it so much. How great would it be for him to get the Powerbomb Symphony 10 times?
That would be great.
I mean, come on. It's just asking for it.
Pop, especially in Cleveland.
Wardlow is just one of these guys. I love that he said, like, yeah, I want to be. Somebody asked him, like, do you want to go to WWE anytime soon? He was like, no. Yeah. It's like, why? And
why would I?
Britt Baker said, she's like, I don't trust WWE. And I'm like, okay, thank you. None of us do.
No. Yeah, we've talked about it in previous weeks. I think at this point, the appeal of going to WWE is going to WWE. Like, that's what you grew up wanting to do, so you're accomplishing a childhood dream. But I think that's becoming less and less a dream for wrestlers, especially since they're no longer interested in signing wrestlers. They'd rather train up athletes, which is fine, but it's, you're not going to see a guy like Wardlow, who I think could have killed it in the old NXT.
Can I just say that I just found out that found a reason to like Wardlow even more. First of all, it is his real name. His full name, Michael Wardlow.
Mike Wardlow, yeah.
That's amazing. 6'3", 267.
Yep.
And his career started with AEW, which I think is he is going to be one of the best originals to come out of this promotion. Right now, he's got that Batista heat just before he broke out of Evolution.
I was there when he made his first appearance.
That cage match, right? Oh no, the appearance, not the match.
No, well, yeah, right, yeah, not the fight, but he, when he ran in to attack Cody in Dynamite in Nashville, and nobody was quite sure who he was, because he really came out of nowhere. And then he surprised the hell out of everybody with that match. Yep.
They were like, "Oh, he can work too."
Yeah. There was a very large contingent of people in the audience that first time he appeared to help MJF who thought he might be Marty, because from our seats way up in
he's
the arena,
he's a lot bigger.
But yeah, and then once he took off the jacket, it was like, oh no, this is somebody else. And then we realized
and he's proven himself to not just be just a heater, or just like muscle. I mean, obviously he's muscle, but like the guy's got the whole appeal about it. What is Max Caster doing?
he's just being Max, being platinum. Let's see. I think that's Paul Turner is our referee for this one. Yep, senior referee from AEW, Paul Turner.
So we got full AEW representation in the ring right now.
Just like in our all New Japan match we just had, we had Red Shoes calling it. Usually we don't let referees call matches involving people from their promotion, but when it's two AEW guys, we're not going to send Brian Hebner out there to officiate that. That's going to Paul Turner.
I am so psyched. The rise of Wardlow is amazing. If I were booking it, I would have him turn with that 10 count, with that 10 power bombs, and then MJF just being like really trying to persuade him, like, don't make this a mistake. Mm-hmm. You have one last chance, and it'll be you win that TNT championship for me. And that's when MJF screws him over. Or at least has to make a decision. And I would love to see CM Punk get in the ear of Wardlow and be like, what are you doing with this guy? You know better.
Yeah.
But then again, he doesn't have to, because everybody knows it's coming. And it's just the guy knows exactly the kind of facial expression he needs to do. Mm-hmm. He knows where the camera is all the time. He's got the appeal to the crowd that it's just, the guy's got the whole package.
Yeah, the total package is an excellent description of him. He's a superstar waiting to break out. It was only his second year ranked in the 500. He was 397 last year, up to 218 this year, and by the end of June, Wardlow easily a top 100 guy. If AEW continues on the path they're going. Oh, speaking of those delayed vertical suplexes.
Yeah.
Nice one there from Wardlow. Wardlow, surprisingly, 11 and a half minutes into this match, has not powerbombed him yet.
I think that it's because he wants to shut up Max Caster.
And I think we kind of all do. As great as
honestly, I like Max Caster. I think, though, sometimes he might get a little overzealous with his raps.
Little. But the fact that he has, on a couple of occasions, gotten himself in hot water, and yet they continue to give him a live mic every week, says a lot about AEW and the faith they have in Max Caster.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Caster kind of realized, like, I screwed up on a couple of times, so I'm gonna make sure.
And dial that back just a little.
Just enough where he could still be like, oh, okay, this isn't watered down.
Right. Oh, looks like Max.
You trying to powerbomb his own? You're trying to powerbomb Wardlow? Come on!
I hit him with a TKO.
But that weight, it probably exhausted Wardlow, Caster. And don't waste your time dancing, man.
Come on, man! He got Wardlow flat on his back. They're trading punches now.
Strike for strike.
I feel like Wardlow's holding back a little bit, using his left hand. Then a big clothesline. And another one. It's like, all right, enough of this.
Yeah, Wardlow came to play. Wardlow came to finish this.
Yep, there it is. Splash Mountain. I think that's got to be
it.
2, 3.
Of course it is.
There we go. Wardlow is done playing with his meal. And he will now face the winner between Switchblade Jay White and Keita Murray in round 2. So Wardlow and possibly Switchblade. That's a fun one. But hey, here's one of your boys making his way to the ring.
Yes, Colby Corino. I have watched this young man grow up in wrestling. when I was in my managing days on the Indies, my my client, as it were, Damian Dragon, um, simply the best Damian Dragon, excuse me, uh, and we did come out to that song. uh, he his father, obviously Steve Carino, was doing Force One Pro Wrestling, I think. There was a couple of variations on it, but they were doing a lot of shows out of Philly. And when we were booked for those shows, Colby was just studying everything, and he has become like just such a natural, charismatic wrestler. And I think everybody should be watching him on NWA Power. But talk about charisma, you cannot let MJF escape the conversation.
Nope.
Because he won't let you.
No, he won't. PWS even brings a microphone to the ring with
Mike
him.
To the ring?
He's PWI's most hated wrestler for 2021.
For all the right reasons.
Oh yes, absolutely. He's one of the rare heels in modern wrestling who wants to be a heel. He doesn't want to be cool.
25 years old or 24.
I
can't remember.
It's something like that. He's still very young. He is 25,
and you would never
in March.
You would never think that he had only been doing this for so long.
Yeah. But, I mean, you consider the fact he was opening day AEW, and he'd been in MLW for a little bit before that, as part of the dynasty with Hammerstone and Holiday.
Alexander Hammerstone. Jeez.
Just jawing at Carino during the match. That might come back to bite him. Let's see. Winner of this is going to face the winner between Darius Carter and Octagon Jr.
Interesting. I love that they explained why MJF doesn't wrestle too often by just saying that he only wrestles the amount of contractually obligated matches that he has to wrestle.
Yes. They basically
such a brilliant way to do that.
Yeah. They basically took the criticism about Brock Lesnar and his limited date schedule and turned it into a character trait for MJF.
Because he's on TV every week.
He is.
And it makes it really worthwhile to watch a match of the caliber that we know he can put on. I mean, remember his match against Jungle Boy, where he really did act as this is something I need to prove that I can wrestle. Mm-hmm. And it's not just me being good on a microphone. And he did. That match against Jungle Boy is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And every time he's in the ring with, one of the pillars, as he put him in that promo.
Yeah.
He's he had a really good match with Sammy. He had an excellent match with Jungle Boy. I mean, even in the Blood and Guts and the Stadium Stampede, even in comedy matches, he's also great.
And of course, let's not forget the greatest AEW segment of all time, the Dinner Debonair.
The Dinner Debonair, yeah, of course. The certainly the most newsworthy.
Yes,
and
New York Times nominated.
Yes, and this is actually the second time these two have shared a ring together. The first back in 2019 as part of Joey Janela's Spring Break 3 Part 2, The Greatest Clusterfuck, when they were both entered in the Clusterfuck Battle Royal. Neither of them won, so they are both 0-1 against each other. So this is
do you think that beautiful diamond ring is going to get retired? Because he's won it 3 times. And I feel like the ring was made pretty much for him.
Yeah. I can't imagine it working for anybody but him. The only reason I could conceivably see them doing it for 4th year would be if MJF, after Wardlow turns face, MJF ducks him for, however many months it is until the next Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And then Wardlow wins it. And he uses that as collateral to get MJF into the ring.
I'm sorry, did you just hear MJF in the ring?
Yeah. Yep.
Telling the crowd what to eat.
Yeah. Classy as always.
You know what I love is that Tony Schiavone, they have allowed him to mercilessly just express hatred for any time MJF is in the ring. I love any time it's like, MJF is coming up. He's a rat. I hate him. I hope he loses. We'll be right back. I had to like pause to like make sure that's exactly what he said.
And I mean, on the most recent Unrestricted, he was talking about how he hopes he breaks his neck in the ring. It's like, oh
yeah,
no,
like
that's
wow.
too far. Maybe just like a blown out knee. He has to retire.
Schiavone he is having the time of his life in AEW.
Yeah, he is.
Although he came across a little bit as a creep during the mixed tag match.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the new direction they're taking him and Britt. Like, I loved the like sort of adversarial friendship that they had, but I don't know. Since Adam Cole came in,
kind of like, all right, dude, let's kind of move on. We all know what the real relationship is. Let's not be weird about it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, big splash from Colby.
Oh,
2.9.
Colby Carino, by the way, doing fantastic work in NWA. Real natural. They're just real natural, like pedigree wrestler. Whoa, did he just take out the ring?
I think he hit him with the ring.
Oh, come on.
Max just
ref's discretion running a little loose in this match.
Yeah.
Come on.
Daichi Murayama from Stardom, not really on top of it here.
I mean, we all know that it is a beautiful diamond ring.
It is. Appraised.
You have to. We are contractually obligated to say it that way. Tony Khan told us.
That's the one thing he insists on.
Yeah, just put over the ring.
Colby held the Catalyst Wrestling Championship for almost the entire evaluation period before dropping it to the aforementioned Darius Carter, who he might get a rematch with if he can get past MJF. And
if you want to know what Colby's potential is, check out late 90s Steve Corino ECW matches, and you will exactly see the level that he can achieve.
Mm-hmm.
He is very much the epitome of his father's style. The king of old school.
Mm-hmm.
Commonly mistaken for Mr. Wrestling, but that is just what a fallacy.
Very
similar build. But a lot of people say that about different masked wrestlers.
That's right.
I mean, I had somebody tell me that Cody Rhodes is actually Fuego del Sol Jr.
That's insane.
I'm like, you didn't even get his name right. His name is Son of Fuego.
Yeah.
Also, they look nothing alike.
No. Fuego.
Cody has a neck tattoo. There's no neck tattoo on.
Nope.
I mean, he's got like a little smudge on his neck, but like that's just birthmark.
Yeah.
Nice flying head scissors.
Did I ever tell you my Steve Corino story?
Oh no, please do.
It's tangential. I should preface this by saying at this point in my life, I had never met Steve Corino. 17 years later, I've still never met Steve Corino. But I've told the story before about the one wrestling show I ever worked, video production and commentary for Ultimate Championship Wrestling back in 2005 at Bay City Western High School, the reunion of the Steiner brothers. A fun little indie show, MJF kicking Corino in the balls there. So after the show, promoter hands me an envelope with cash to pay my crew because I brought my own camera crew with me, rented equipment and stuff. And then the agreement was I would get paid when I finished the DVDs and delivered them. Well, this goes on back and forth for quite a while, including at one point him refusing to pay me, even though I had delivered a box full of DVDs that I had burned and printed labels for and box art for. Was he going for the Heat Seeker?
Kind of almost a Gotch pile driver of sorts.
2,
That worked.
3. That did it. MJF moves on. But anyway, so we get into an argument because he accuses me of dragging my feet on finishing his because I'm secretly working for Steve Corino, who's was it Wrestle One? Was that the
that was the promotion?
He was doing then, because they were starting to get a foothold in mid Michigan at the time, and apparently Steve Corino, the king of old school, was going after the guy who had done one indie show ever to poach him from Ultimate Championship Wrestling, and so that was
I've dealt with indie promoters like that. They're just making up excuses because they can't get a show booked.
Pretty much. Apparently,
that promotion is still going. Late '90s ECW stars. Masato Tanaka, one of the hardest hitting, table smashing, insane chair shot hitting wrestlers ever.
Yeah, Tanaka's an icon.
Absolutely.
He actually got rated. He in 2000 was the number 21 rated wrestler in the PWI 500. He's 154 this year, which pretty good staying power for a guy who debuted on the 1997 list. But he was the 0-1 world champion. He won the Dio Grand Prix. Just a big year for Tanaka and his opponent, Daisuke Harada. This is their 4th time sharing the ring, and they have been partners up until this point. They've never faced off against each other.
This should be a good back and forth because they got to know each other back inside and out.
They know each other well, going back to 2014, the first time they ever teamed in Noah. They teamed with Takashi Sugiura against Hajime Ohara, Maybach Taniguchi, and Takeshi Morishima. And then they also recently teamed, very recently, back in October of 2021 was their most recent time teaming in a 10-man tag with Ohara, Atsushi Kotogi, and Naomichi Marufuji against Kino, Hao, Neo, Katsuhiko Nakajima, and Tadasuke. And
are you just trying to show off?
That was I have no idea if I pronounced any of those right.
I mean, who am I to correct you? Because I have no idea.
That was at the Go on the Demolition Stage Day 3 event for Noah last October 28th. So these two know each other well, having teamed, multiple times throughout the years. Harada now based in Noah. He's one half of the Momo no Seishun tag with Sugiura, I think, is his regular partner.
You just had to go to sleep.
And just pulls him right up, doesn't go for the pin.
I mean, Tanaka has faced my first exposure to him was his series of matches against Mike Awesome.
Yes, same here.
It's the only two. I think it was the only match on ECW One Night Stand that legit popped the WWE guys.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
that was the only match where they were watching it and they kind of just dropped the whole storyline of oh, we hate ECW. They were actually holy crap, I'm loving this.
Yeah, man, those two. That was it. Hardcore Heaven or no Heat Wave?
Yeah, I think so.
That, I mean, and the 3-way dance with Taz was also great, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Heat Wave 98. Might have been 97.
I've never seen more power bombs through tables.
Yeah. I mean, and Awesome would do that running crucifix bomb over the ropes.
Yes. The Awesome bomb.
Yeah. Man, and then the awesome splash.
An awesome bomb will pick your neck.
Yeah, man, yeah. Mike Awesome. One of those should have been
gone too soon for sure,
and just never, WCW the
first WCW Invader.
That's right. Second, Lance Storm was the first.
Oh yeah, that's true. Lance Storm.
But he was the second one, and he won the hardcore title in his
right
debut because he attacked Rhino. And then I think the third was Stacy Keibler.
I mean, how great was that moment where they did all reunite in the ring for ECW?
Yeah.
I thought like that was such a like, oh god, you kind of like, oh, all the ECW guys are in the ring at the same time. Ah, they're getting back together.
Yeah, that was and then RVD and Tommy Dreamer jumping the barricade to join them in the show-ending brawl, and then Stephanie.
Yep.
Oh, we're back,
and it's gone.
It's just now it's a WWF angle, and another Death Valley driver from Harada.
See, Tanaka can take a beating.
Kind of beating the hell out of each other. Another German with the bridge. Referee Rick Knox actually paying attention. Sees that he's in the ropes.
We're watching you, Knox.
Not to be confused with Knoxville,
no.
The first announced entrant in the Royal Rumble. I just don't get how WWE can criticize AEW for not being family friendly, and then have the guy from Jackass come on to promote his movie. If it weren't for double standards, they'd have no standards at all.
I'm just going through some of the names I've seen of Tanaka's tag teams. Emblem, the Apache Army, Sword Army, Axe Army.
1, 2, 3. Yep, the Roaring Elbow did it.
However, I wonder if he'll ever reunite with Team Erotics.
What? That sounds like a Danny Doring team from the early 2000s. Who else was in Team Erotics?
I don't know, and frankly, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to find out. But congratulations to all our victors on this episode. Let's see, what have we got now as a result of this?
So we now, as a result of that match, we now have Masato Tanaka against Rey Mysterio lined up for
very nice.
That'll be fun. Sonata and Satoshi Kojima. Rich Swann, who got a first round bye, will be against John Silver.
All night long.
And Dralistico against Mike Outlaw.
Very cool. Congrats to Mike Outlaw. Way to go and pull out that victory. Shane Taylor's no one to mess with.
No. But that brings up next week's episode, which, card subject to change.
2 weeks' time, because we're going to do our post-Rumble show.
That's right. The Rumble show is next week, yes. 2 weeks' time, on the 6th of February, we will see the aforementioned Rey Fenix take on Aria Davari. We will see Timothy Thatcher against the aforementioned A Very Good Professional Wrestler, formerly known as Dasher Hatfield. Wyndham Rotunda will make his return to the ring. The former Bray Wyatt takes on NXT 2.0's Grayson Waller.
I will give Grayson Waller credit. He is a guy who I think also can survive in NXT because they throw anything at him. Just be this guy, be this guy, be this guy. And he's like, okay, I'll go do what I can with it. So here's to you, Grayson Waller. Hope you're doing okay.
Lucha legend Volador Jr. will be against
I love Volador Jr.
El Lindemann from the Strong Hearts will be up against Matt Makowski. The aforementioned Joey Janela will be against Robbie Eagles.
Ooh, very nice.
Otis from the Alpha Academy, new Raw Tag Team Champions, will be against Kaito Ishida.
Very cool.
Returning Trent Beretta will go one-on-one with MVP. That'll be fun.
Trent?
Well, now he's got a last name now.
Yeah, I know. He got his name back.
He's no longer Trent, ?
What a great way to gimmick yourself with an identity crisis.
Yes. Trent ? And Joe something, or should have not Joe. But
Jake something.
Joe Doring and Jake something.
Yeah, Joe Doring, Jake something.
I switched the first names. Minoru Suzuki will be in action against young up-and-comer SB Kento.
Nice.
And in what could be the most exciting match of the first round, Shelton Benjamin and Darius Martin.
Ooh.
So,
oh man,
good stuff coming in 2 weeks.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be a good show. I know that on Saturday night, I am going to do a watch along live stream for the Royal Rumble. If anyone would like to join,
Let's do
it's
it.
going to
That
be a
sounds
lot
fun.
of fun. It's my favorite WWE match. It's probably my favorite wrestling match. And I look forward to it every year. One, because it's always like around my birthday, and two, because it's just such a great, easy concept. And so many things build out of it, like feuds and rivalries, the unexpected moments, and it's just so much fun. The countdown, you get excited, and you know. Sometimes you can be sorely disappointed by who doesn't show up, but there's so many people not on the roster that anything can be a surprise nowadays.
Yeah, that's right. They've released so many people that legitimately anyone could show up now. Free
Sad
agents.
but true.
Yeah, I mean,
Heck,
we already
Pat
know.
might even show up.
What's that?
Pat, you might even show up in the Rumble. You haven't told me though.
I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm not saying I'm not.
I am so bad at grammar that I can't tell which one's the double negative.
I think I pulled off a triple negative there at the end, which I think then goes back to being a negative.
It would be a great finisher name, the triple negative.
Triple negative. I like it. That'd be like for a chained power bomb or Three Amigos style.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching with us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Facebook to catch all the episodes as they're uploaded there. If you would like to follow us here on Twitch, the more we get, the more we can get access to all of these features where you can subscribe. We can get you involved with more interaction with the audience. That's what we want to get to that level. We have a special shout out though to give to people who have been helping with the uploading more models.
Yes.
That template that came up. You said
yes, Miguel Francisca on the he's a PlayStation 4 editor who just does excellent work. Almost all of my AEW builds are by Miguel Francisca, and a lot in general. But he recently, I'm not sure how recently, I recently discovered them, uploaded a series of templates for wrestlers. So he's got like an indie high flyer and an old school heel and a powerhouse and a luchador. And so, we've been saying for weeks that we're about to run out of wrestlers that have been pre-created and that I've been downloading to update my game.
If you want to help us, you know where to find us.
Help us. Yep. So I have had, after finding those templates, I have started building some of the wrestlers we're missing. And that's just been a huge help. So thank you, Miguel. I don't know if that's your real name, but your username is Miguel Francisca. So thank you, Miguel-Francisca.
And for anybody still playing Fire Pro Wrestling, look them up and get those downloads. Yeah. So we will be back this coming weekend, basically Saturday night. I'll be doing the live stream. Sunday, you can join us again for our post-Rumble discussion. And thank you, everybody, for watching today. You can follow us online, of course, at PW Simulated on all the accounts of social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I don't know if we're going to put TikTok up. I actually had somebody ask me about that, and I'm like, it's a lot of more editing that I don't know if I have the time to do. Right. But you never know. We'll be pioneers on.
We'll get back on Tout.
Yes, Tout. Let's bring back Tout. Let's be those guys.
Tout, MySpace, LiveJournal.
Somebody actually made a modded version of the old MySpace style, and kind of rebirthed it, to the point where you can have your top 5 and your modified profiles so that they play music when they're on the page.
Nice.
God, those were the days.
Those were the days, man.
Were they any good for real? We don't know.
It was a very confusing time in my life, but that might have just been because I was in my mid-20s.
I was going to say, we were all going through a time of just odd growing up. But there is so much
pre-30s.
Yeah. there is so many more matches to come. And of course, we are going to just roll right through it as this insane tournament continues. We hope you all enjoy the rest of your week. We will see you next time. I've been Mike.
I'm still Pat.
And we will see you on Pro Wrestling Simulated. And if you have a tagline that I can start saying, contact us either on the email or on our social media. We will see you next time, though.
We're no
Have a
longer
good week,
live,
everybody.
pal.